Warning, warning, warning.
Aren't you worried that you're on this channel RT after being accused by Hillary Clinton, basically, of working for the Russian government? We know Russian intelligence agencies hacked into the DNC. Wikileaks is now publishing all the hacked emails.
I don't think Wikileaks can be constantly worried about PR. I've been called a Mossad agent. It got so bad, in fact, that the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, had to put out a press release denying that I was a Mossad agent. I'm not sure actually that's particularly helpful. A cat torturer, a CIA agent, etc. So it's expected with our publications. RT is obviously of interest to people that are interested in Russia, and Russia has been brought up by Hillary Clinton, most recently, just a few days ago, on Fox. So I think it is necessary to address what WikiLeaks feels is its perception of its own publication to the RT audience.
Did you ever think WikiLeaks was going to change the outcome of a US presidential election?
Well, our proponents argue that we have shifted outcomes in improving election, Kenyan election. We've been involved in removing the intelligence heads of a number of countries as a result of our publications and the public accountability that has come from it.
Hillary Clinton just said, we know Russian intelligence agencies hacked into the DNC. We know they arranged for emails to be released.
Yeah, so on the, actually she has a slight variant on the we know. I don't think she says emails, I think she says some documents. Because the difference here is that do state actors hack the political organizations of different countries? Does the United States government do it? Absolutely. Of course, it hacks the political parties of many different countries. Does French intelligence, Chinese intelligence, Russian intelligence hack political parties in order to collect intelligence? Yes. Did they hack the DNC? Has at least one state actor hacked the DNC? Probably. Now, this is a separate question to the release of our emails. So in the US media, there's been a deliberate conflation between DNC leaks, which is what we've been publishing, and DNC hacks of the US Democratic Party, which have occurred over the last 2 years, by their own admission, a number of times. The Hillary Clinton campaign has a serious problem in trying to work out how to counterspin the publication. Why do they have such a problem? Well, because the emails are unarguable. WikiLeaks has a perfect 10-year history of having never got it wrong in relation to what we have published. That means that what we have published is trusted. But even so, across the whole 20,000 emails, no one in the DNC, no one even in the Hillary Clinton campaign is saying, look, that word there, I did not say that. It's accepted that they are all legitimate. So what is the source of the emails? I can reveal the source of the emails. The source of the emails is the Democratic National Committee. It is the President, Desiree Wasserman Schultz, it is the Communications Director, Louis Miranda, et cetera, et cetera.
I think that's not what they're asking.
They wrote them, okay. So we know they're accurate, we know who the source is, we know who the publisher is. From our perspective, that's all that's important. Now, there's an attempt to bring in a meta story, and the meta story is, did some hacker obtain these emails? Okay. People have suggested that there's evidence that the DNC has been hacked. I'm not at all surprised it's been hacked. In fact,
Clinton says it's the Russians.
If you read very carefully, they say it's been hacked many times over the last 2 years. And our sources say that the DNC security is like Swiss cheese. The DNI, the Director of National Intelligence in the United States, several months ago said that both the RNC, the Republicans, and the DNC were being attacked by a range of actors from philosophical opponents to states engaged in espionage. Now, the head of the DNI, James Clapper, who's responsible for all US intelligence agencies, he's the boss of the CIA. If anyone knows what the US intelligence agencies he knows. And on Friday, he had to come out and say that there's a lot of media hyperventilation, that they have no idea as to what motivation is, even if they did know who it was. So that's the head of the DNI dampening down ideas that they know who it is. Now, despite that, Hillary Clinton is saying untruthfully that she knows who the source of our emails are. Now, she didn't quite say our emails. She's playing some games because there have been other publications by The Hill, by Gawker, other US media, of different documents, not emails. So we have to separate the various DNC or RNC hacks that have occurred over the years and who's done that. The source, we know who the source is. It's the Democratic National Committee itself. And our sources, who gave them, these materials and other pending materials to us. These are all different questions. And, Clinton is playing a fairly effective game at trying to distinguish these. But, we said that, can journalists count to two? It's not hard to count to two. We have DNC leaked emails that we have published, and we have questions about the hacking of the DNC over a number of different years by a number of different actors. These are different questions.
Any Russian connections between Hillary Clinton and Russia? Any Russian connections there?
Hillary Clinton has done quite well strategically to try and draw connection between Trump and Russia. Because she has so many connections of her own. Now, my analysis of Trump and Russia is that there is no substantial connection. Why do I say that? Well, because Trump was trying to invest in Russia before Putin in the 1990s, after Putin, in fact, nearly all the way up to the present moment. And he's had no success. He did not manage to build hotels and so on in Russia. So that shows how insubstantial his contacts are. Now, if you look at Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, you see that Hillary Clinton was involved in approving the sale of 20% of the United States uranium reprocessing market to a Russian company. That's just an incredible thing when you think that uranium is part of the US nuclear weapons complex. In fact, it is the origin.
This is a Russian government-funded company.
Yeah, and now American uranium is being shipped off to Russia and potentially used or in the construction of Russian atomic weapons, or at the very least, displacing the use of Russian uranium. So there's more spare uranium.
Your involvement is through John Podesta, who's our campaign manager.
The involvement is in a number of areas. So there's donations, large donations going into the Clinton Foundation. Why Hillary Clinton is Secretary of State at the time that she is making the decision as to whether to permit the export or not. And through John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, there's an extremely well-documented pattern of when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, those people, companies, governments, who wanted a decision by the Secretary of State in their favor, making large donations to the Clinton Foundation, or in some other cases, business deals with the people around Hillary Clinton. Now, one particular instance is the approval by Secretary Clinton of selling 20% of the US uranium reprocessing rights to a Russian company to be exported to Russia. So at that time, a large donation was made by those Russian interests to the Clinton Foundation. In addition, Clinton's campaign manager, Podesta, was on the board of a company called Juul Unlimited. And Juul Unlimited held some of these rights and received a $35 million investment from Russia.
And that's a Russian government company. So Hillary Clinton is...
From a Russian government company. And also Russians were on the board also with Podesta.
Is this revenge for Hillary Clinton overseeing the torture of Chelsea Manning, of obviously seeking continuing grand jury against yourself, perhaps extrajudicial killing of yourself, let alone the death penalty for yourself if you were tried in the United States? Is that why you're attacking her?
I just find it quite amazing. I mean, Wikileaks is doing what it's always done. It's what its mandate is for the past 10 years. In 2009, we published 50,000 donors and from the Senator Norman Coleman campaign. He was a Republican. So that's what Wikileaks would... Just think, would WikiLeaks turn down tens of thousands of documents from a political party in an election? I think the interesting question is, would another media organization turn it down? And these questions about the motivations of an editor or a proprietor, actually I think they're fair. I think it is fair to ask those questions. I don't think the answers are very fair. But do you ever hear those questions asked about Phil Griffin, the president of MSNBC, or Comcast, or Time Warner?
So whoever the source is, they couldn't trust those companies to be able to publish the information because they're already so partisan.
I mean, I assume that's why the source came to us, because of that belief. We thought, okay, well, who should we choose as, media partners in the United States who, perhaps they know the backstory of some of these characters like Debbie Wasserman Schultz better than we do. And we thought, actually, there is basically no one that we can trust to do an impartial job on this issue, because the election has polarized everyone. You basically have in the US media market Fox going mostly with the Republicans, and then everyone else with Hillary Clinton. So who can you choose to work with in that environment? You can't. So the most impartial way of doing things is just to publish it ourselves and invite everyone to the table. That's what happened.